Welcome to NEXTGames Elder Scrolls Online Dungeon Series. This video covering Wayrest Sewers I on the normal difficulty, solo using a Nightblade. Now this video will comprise of an entire battle example of the entire Wayrest Sewers, including trash mobs, on the normal difficulty, with commentary at the beginning and during all of the bosses, going over strategies I recommend for taking this dungeon on. Now here at the beginning, I'll go ahead and put the bosses and their timestamps up there in the upper left-hand corner, so that if you've come here for a particular boss, you can hop right to the section that you need to be in. Now in regards to difficulty, Wayrest Sewers, on the normal difficulty, is one of the easier dungeons to take on in the game. I put it at about a 3 or 4, meaning most endgame players of CP 160 or more should be able to take this dungeon on as long as they have some form of healing. For this battle example, I'm actually not using my Ring of the Pale Order as I normally do, and instead just using my companion on level 15 to heal, just to see how that works in this dungeon. The results are actually pretty good. The main thing you want to remember in regards to this dungeon is there is lots of trash mobs, and the mobs in addition have lots of adds. This means you want to use at least 2 or 3 of your ability slots for AoE abilities that can do large amounts of damage to the throngs of mobs that are coming at you. It'll make it much easier to deal with them. There are 3 armor sets that you can get in the dungeon on this difficulty. The Toothrow armor set, the Sergeant's Mail armor set, and finally the Combat Physician armor set. Now if you end up taking this on the Veteran difficulty, which is possible solo, you can get the Slimecraw set. I'll be releasing a video on how to do that difficulty next week. That should be it for getting us kicked off in this dungeon. I'll be back again at the start of the first boss, Slimecraw.
To hurt you, but now I'm going to.
Here we are at the first boss, Slimecraw. Now this boss is not overly challenging. The main thing you want to remember is to stay away from the front of Slimecraw, as that is where all of the main abilities will be focused. Slimecraw also has Kono abilities that will end up hitting your companion that is behind you, so make sure you try and face him away from your companion if at all possible. Other than that, this boss should go down pretty quickly in just 1 to 3 minutes.
Take one of them alive so we can have some fun later.
Go around!
Here we are at the second boss of the run, Investigator Garron. Now Garron likes to teleport himself around the room. Make sure you just keep track of where he goes. The main mechanic with him is he will summon a red circle that'll be on the ground that will do large amounts of damage to you if you get caught within the circle. So just keep dragging it around the arena while still getting in your damage. Be sure to try and not capture your companion within that circle either, as that will cause unnecessary damage to them and allow them to not heal you if they indeed are your primary source of healing. Additionally in this fight, Garron will occasionally summon 2 ghosts to assist him. These can actually gang up on you quite quickly and make this fight more challenging than it needs to be. So it's best to just run over to them and take them out as quickly as you can once they appear, and then get back to your usual strategy. That's going to be about it for this fight. We'll see you at the beginning of the third boss.
Tormented souls of the dead arise and kill these interlopers. Kill these interlopers.
That was a bit of a warm-up.
Your food is here, my little one. Feast!
Not a day gone without.
All hail the Vermin Lord!
Here we are at the third boss of the dungeon, the Rat Whisperer. Now the Rat Whisperer's primary attack is going to be a magic AoE damage spell cast at the tank. Therefore you want to try and keep your distance from your companion so it does not hit them. Now additionally, the Rat Whisperer will occasionally use the words, "Come to me, my minions," as he summons a bunch of low health skeevers to aid him. These can quickly overwhelm you, and why it is it's so important that you need to have those AoE abilities so that you can quickly cut through them while still dealing good damage to the Rat Whisperer. As long as you do that and stay on top of the healing in this fight, either through abilities or use of a Ring of a Pale Order or through a companion healing you, you should not have too many problems. We'll talk at the beginning of the fourth boss, which is right after this one.
Come to me, my minions.
Try breaking free! I'm still here. Thanks for asking.
Here we are on the fourth boss of the dungeon, Uulgarg the Hungry. Now the main thing you want to remember with Uulgarg is he has a very powerful charge-up attack that if it lands, especially unblocked, can definitely one-shot you. You just saw it go off right there. So you want to make sure at all times to be sure to block that attack if you see it going off. Now additionally, he has a combo that he can do where he can stun everyone around him when he uses that red circle right there if you're caught within it. If he immediately follows that up with a heavy attack, he can end up taking you out with not even giving you the ability to block the attack. Therefore, you must make sure that you avoid both moves, and as long as you do so, the rest of this fight should be fairly trivial.
can't allow you to muck about in here. Know that it was Varaine Pellingare who ended your...
Here we are on the 5th boss of the dungeon, Varaine Pellingare. Now Varaine has 3 main attacks. The first is a heavy melee attack that you'll need to be sure to block. Additionally, Varaine periodically casts an ever-expanding AoE spell around him that will deal lots of damage and briefly stun anyone caught in it, making it more difficult to get out of its range. Therefore, once you see it expanding, you want to make sure to roll backwards as quickly as possible. He also has a frontal conal attack that can do a ton of damage and knock you back. As soon as you see that cone on the ground, you want to make sure that you dodge to the left or right if you happen to be within it. Other than that, this fight should be fairly straightforward.
Back on your feet. You can't take us off. Set the blaze. Go around. To the side. Now.
Heal me! I need aid!
Dig in. Don't let them separate us.
Torches! Like a pig. Right, lads?
Heal me! You know, I like to think I'm agreeable. You need... the last of them. Oh, thank feck.
Stick 'em, bleed 'em, and leave 'em for the schemers.
To the side!
I need healing!
Light it! Burrow!
Come here and let me show you the pointy end of my sword.
To the side!
Healer!
Kill! We're about to do you. Portrait! Right now!
Never used to fight this much until I met you. Get back, you fetter!
Circle around! I need...
Here we are at the final boss of the dungeon, Allene Pellingare. Now Allene can do very heavy melee attacks like many of the other bosses in this dungeon. You must make sure to block them or dodge them every time, or they can one-shot you. Additionally, from time to time, Allene will teleport strike to a random target, doing a lot of damage and briefly snaring them. You need to make sure that you can get cured right after this happens, or you will be susceptible to being killed and finished off right afterwards. Additionally, Allene will vanish, roughly every 25% health, to summon fiendish hallucinations. Now, at the start, there will only be a few bats, but they will add one on each 25% when she resummons them. So by the end, at 25%, there are more than a handful of bats to deal with. The last 25% health is definitely the most risky. She seems to do increased damage, so make sure you use increased caution during this time. That should be it, and all you need to know to take on this final boss of the dungeon. If you want to see the gear that I use for this fight, as well as the potions and food, make sure you stay to the end, and I'll go over all that. So in regards to the gear we use for this run, Celestrus's Mask, Defiler's Arm Core with 5 pieces, Bracers of Hunding's Rage with 5 pieces. We're using Hunding's Rage for both of our weapons. We are not using a Ping of the Rail Order, and instead just a Ring of Agility for some extra stamina and recovery. For our food, we are using Lava, Foot, Soup, and Sultries. And then for our potion, we're using a Crown Tri-Restoration Potion that we just get from our daily logins. That's going to be it for the Wayrest Sewers. I hope you found that helpful. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy out there.